Fantastic Four. 4 people teleport to another planet, come back, they have powers, and have to fight people. Look, I'll start off by saying that despite the rumors going on about this movie and the behind the scenes, I thought this movie looked awesome because the trailer that came out, the first trailer, looked fantastic, coupled with Josh Trank's interview where he said that he was going for this Cronenberg kind of feel where it was like sci-fi and body horror. It sounded just fascinating. And then Fox comes out with an embargo on critics, so they can't put up their reviews until like 12 hours before the movie comes out. And hey, Fox, if you're watching, dude, I didn't sign shit, so don't come knocking down my door. I say that because they might want to after they hear me say that this is the worst comic book movie I've seen since Spider-Man 3. Let's start with the character development. There is none. There's none. There's no character development. These characters are just plopped into this movie, and you are expected to care about them, and you don't. You won't care about these guys. Frankly, if they all died at the end, I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, frankly, it actually might make it more interesting. I'll get to the ending later. And the performances in this movie are just god-awful. I mean, the cast is fantastic. Miles Teller in particular is someone that I love. Whiplash is like my favorite movie in recent memory, and I love him in it. He's terrible in this. So is everybody else. My least favorite performance being from the person I was most interested in seeing, Toby Kebbell. I thought his character sucked. I mean, he was such an asshole. I mean, not an endearing asshole. Like, he was just a jerk, totally unlikable, hated his character. And Tim Blake Nelson, dude, what are you doing? Take the gum out of your mouth. Who told you to do that? What contributes to the lack of character development is the pacing. This movie is so rushed. It's so choppy. There's even a point halfway through the movie where they just get their powers. This could be a time where they have to learn what's going on to them and learn to accept it. But nope, instead of going into that, they throw up a black screen that just says 1 year later. They just skip all of that. And while the director, Josh Trank, deserves to be blamed for a lot of this, there's no denying that the writing in this movie is atrocious. The writing is so immaturish and the dialogue is just so unnatural and forced between the characters. There's a point in this movie where Johnny Storm is unconscious, lying down on like a hospital bed, and people are observing him, scientists, military people, and he just spontaneously, for the first time, just flames on. And there's like a 3-second delay, and then on the intercom, someone just goes, "There seems to be some activity." No shit, there seems to be some activity. The motherfucker just burst into flames right in front of us. So it leaves us as the viewer to have to determine, is this the world that they created? A world full of idiots and morons that they literally require someone to come on an intercom and notify them that something unusual is happening? Or we have to assume that it's just really shitty writing and just leave it at that. Seriously, what intern came up with that line? And more importantly, what supervisor read that shit and approved it? Even on a technical level, this movie is just awful. I mean, the audio is so poor in this. This movie ain't winning any Oscars for sound mixing and sound editing. And the CGI in this movie is cartoonish at best. I mean, you can see green screens all over the place. It's so obvious. This is a big budget movie, and I'm telling you, I don't know where the money went because it sure as hell did not go into the CGI, except for the Thing. He actually looks really good. So let's move along to the ending. There's actually one redeeming scene with Doom where he's just unleashing hell on this facility. He's like walking around and just blowing people's brains out of the back of their head with like telekinesis. It's horrifying to watch, and which is what I wanted to see. I wanted it to be laced in this kind of horror, but it's not. It's just that one scene. And that well-directed, really cool scene is followed up with a boring, generic, pathetic ending. Our 4 main protagonists go after Doom individually and they get the crap beaten out of them. And one of them actually gets a punch in and knocks Doom into this gorge or something, and he's actually on his back and kind of hurting. But instead of capitalizing on that situation and just jumping on him and beating the hell out of him, they huddle together and talk about how Dr. Storm is right, we need to beat him together. So they break and they go defeat Doom as a team. Yay, movie themes! Between this and the final shot of the movie where they stumble on the name Fantastic Four, it's just really embarrassing that this is the best they could do in terms of an ending. Guys, overall, this movie feels like a movie that came out in 2002, right off the heels of Spider-Man and its success, and the studio just slapped together this poorly written ripoff of Spider-Man in order to capitalize on the success of that movie. Actually, it's like 1 part that and 1 part glorified Sci-Fi Channel movie with a $120 million budget. Except Sci-Fi Channel movies can be enjoyed because they're so bad that they're good. You can like get your friends together, get drunk, and laugh at the stupidity of those movies. Because it's neither a good movie nor a it's so bad that it's good movie, I can't recommend this movie to anybody. So I gotta give this waste of time a 0.5 out of 5. You can compare this to my grading scale that I've included in the description box below. Oh yeah, I forgot, I gotta talk about the director, Josh Trank. Look, I'm aware that the writing department did not help him whatsoever. But when you have a cast of this caliber give this many poor performances, something else is off. Someone else is to be blamed, and that is the director. And after seeing this movie, I've come up with two realizations. One, this movie ain't getting a sequel. I know a sequel's been greenlit, but it's not happening, and it's not gonna be linked with the X-Men cinematic universe. This is a non-starter. And two, regardless of what Josh Trank or Disney or Lucasfilm says, regarding that Star Wars spin-off movie he was attached to, he didn't just leave that project. He was
motherfucking fired.
Because Disney got a hold of the final cut of this thing and went, oh hell no.
Get the fuck out!
Peace, love, and life, Josh. That's just pure speculation on my part, but look, I mean, just read the tea leaves. It adds up. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Take it or leave it. But what do you guys think? Are you excited about the Fantastic Four? Have you seen it at this point? And what'd you think? Let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to talk about it. And guys, thank you so much for watching my review. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And if you liked it, please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way. And subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll get updates on the weekly movie reviews that I do. So we can do this again soon. I'll check you later.
Check you later. Check you later.
Hey, man, get off my case.
Oh, man. Chicks don't want to hear that shit.